Lord of Omens, give me sight beyond sight. Beyond sight. Beyond sight.
Sight Beyond Sight. You already know what it is. The name's on the left side. It's Andrew, co-host or host as well. Nick, his name's on the left as well. So if you cannot read that, I'll let you know. We're here. We're about to talk about Flash. I think that's the only name of it.
Yeah, because it's the first Flash movie.
Flash.
So
Yeah, that is such a weird name for that type of movie. But all right, Flash. And we're about to break down all of it. Nick's opinion, my opinion, maybe some Easter eggs, maybe some spoilers. I don't know, but we're gonna
definitely spoilers because we're gonna be talking about the movie. But
well, yeah, we're gonna all right. Definitely spoilers, and then everything else is opinions and what we think might happen or what could happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I just watched it today, so it's fresh. It's gonna be fresher to me than you, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I'm not gonna talk about it yet. But the interesting thing to me would to be like hear your opinion on not stupid, but the Easter eggs at the end of the movie where they were showing the other,
the Batmans.
Stuff like that, yeah. That was fucking awesome.
The Easter, all right. If you're talking about the Easter eggs within the time warp shit, which we'll get
to. Yeah.
Okay.
I would love to hear your opinion on that, but we'll get
that one. That's a funny one because that one kind of had me feeling certain ways.
Yeah.
But I'll say just off a hard start, I did personally think the movie was better than a lot of DC movies that I've seen. I'll say that.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
So that's kind of where I was leaning towards when I watched it. I was like, oh shit, this is actually pretty entertaining and good. But I will say I'll say the things that I don't like really first, and then we'll do a movie breakdown at a point. One, we always talked about the way he runs. Yeah.
Thank you. That was the first thing I noticed. I'm like, why? Why are you fucking doing that?
Like he did it consistently. Yeah, and then they try to make it into a joke.
Yeah.
At a point, and it was just like it's just not a good run. Like he looks like he should be on the ski team instead of a track team.
Exactly.
The way he moves his arms.
Like no one runs like that.
Runs like that, yeah. So that kind of bothered me. What else bothered me? Obviously, I knew it was Flashpoint. I was kind of hoping for a Zoom or Reverse Flash, whatever the fuck his name is.
Reverse Flash, yeah.
So was hoping for that, but then I realized they were just gonna make him. And then, sorry, my fault. The only other shit was, I guess it would be the third act of it, where they were doing everything with the Supergirl and everything. Like,
yeah,
I feel like they had something and they rushed it. They could have probably did it better, but they simplified it in a certain way that it just was a quick rush. But besides that, I was like, you know what? It was a solid movie compared to freaking Wonder Woman 2 and Justice League and Batman vs Superman and shit like that.
I'll agree with you. Yeah. It's definitely better than Batman v Superman and Wonder Woman 2. I would put that above those for sure. I agree with you. And I think those are the two. The running thing pissed me off because that was right in the beginning. And I was like, why are you posing like he did this weird
the pose to run, yeah.
And I was just like, no one does that shit. And then I noticed the CGI was a little off. When he's saving those babies and the babies look fake, and I understand they're fake babies, but the CGI just looked a little off in the movie where I was just like, you couldn't have done a better job than that?
That was their cheap CGI.
Yeah. But I don't know. To me, like you said, I think I enjoyed the movie, and I think obviously it's in the trailer, so when you see the old school Batman, it was more nostalgic to me, where I was like, I don't know, I like this Batman better than Ben Affleck. I was just like, one, the fight scene with him is better than any Ben Affleck Batman fight scene.
All right.
And I just thought the costume looked better, even though it was out of date because it's all black with the yellow.
Oh, it looks way better.
And I was just like, even though he has a stiff neck because he doesn't have like the ability to move,
Mm-hmm.
but I was just like, when they show Ben Affleck's Batman, he's trying to do the gray outfit with the blue cape, which is like, okay, cool, that's cool for like comic book fans. But then when you go to the original movie Batman, it's just like when you see how they are acting, I was just like, Ben Affleck looks like he's like this the whole time, just
Mm-hmm. No, he was.
moving
Yeah.
like that. Well, Michael Keaton's kind of like that, but I don't know. He just seemed more loose and
He looks more fit.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
No, like all right. So within that, this was one of the things that I want to point out. That first scene with Batman was not Ben Affleck.
It wasn't.
It wasn't Ben Affleck. If you listen to the voice, that is not the same voice that he had in Batman vs Superman or Justice League.
Well, Batman v Superman, he actually had the one good thing that I thought was kind of better than Christian Bale going, "I'm Batman" with his deep voice. He had like a voice modulator. So I was like, that's understandable. Like Batman would use a voice modulator to change his voice. Makes sense. But he stopped using that in Justice League, and he didn't use it in this movie either. So,
Well, when I was watching it in the theater, the whole time, that whole action scene in the beginning of the movie, as he talked, I was like, that's not Ben Affleck's voice. That's not Ben Affleck's doing a deep voice. That is not Ben. And then when you look at it, when they zoom in on his face, he has a beard. Obviously, they know he's shaving. But Ben Affleck isn't going to have a 5 o'clock shadow and shave it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's not the same
I want to
person.
know if he really did play him now.
I don't think he did play. He did the Bruce Wayne part, and then he didn't play Batman. I swear on everything.
I don't know. I gotta check that out because he looked like Batman. I didn't like.
For some reason, like I'm telling you, as I was watching it, I'm just saying the whole time in my head, I'm like, this motherfucker is not Ben Affleck. This is somebody else doing Ben Affleck's part, and then Ben Affleck, yeah, because they fired Ben Affleck midway or whatever. You know, Ben Affleck, obviously, as you see at the end of the movie, why they did what they did.
Yeah.
Is because Ben Affleck's not Batman no more. Yeah, so that's why I believe even more that there's a good possibility that that scene wasn't recorded by Ben Affleck. It was probably the stunt double or something.
Maybe. Yeah. That's a good possibility. I could see that. Although I did, and this is all whoever's watching this, we're talking about the beginning of the movie. There's a fight scene, and they kind of make Flash and he makes a joke about it in the movie, like the cleanup guy, where it's just like, oh, get here, like there's a bank robbery, I need you to stop them, Batman's coming or whatever, and he's trying to get a stupid coffee or donut, whatever, and then he's going back and forth, and he's saving people but destroying shit at the same time. So I get it, like it was a cool action scene, even with the Batman shit. I thought it was cool when he was like kind of skating when he's attached. I was like, that's pretty cool looking. And that whole little fight scene, I liked it, except for the CGI. Like I said, the baby thing just looked weird. Like,
no, the baby shit was weird.
Baby, you know.
But if I'm not mistaken, I think that was the only time I got to see the one thing that I really hate is the slow motion speed. I don't remember it in the rest of the movie. I'm trying, besides one other scene when he fights Keaton.
See, yeah, they didn't do it that much, but they did definitely. That was an exact replica almost of the X-Men movie with with
Quicksilver.
Quicksilver, where he stops and he just sees everything slow and he's jumping over stuff and using stuff to catch people. I was like, yeah, that was kind of an exact X-Men scene that I hated, by the way.
Yeah.
I just don't like that.
No, that scene sucks.
Yeah. But they gave the little cameo right away in the beginning to Gal Gadot. Like, Gal Gadot goes in, helps Batman and Flash out, and then leaves, and they actually show her flying this time by herself instead of like the other movies where they didn't do it. So I was like, okay, now she can fly, and she used the lasso of truth on him by accident. It was that was a cool little funny scene.
Yeah.
I never liked Ezra Miller as the Flash. I don't think I wish it was more comic book accurate personality wise, because being that like weird eccentric jokey guy versus an actual like smart detective-ish kind of guy. I was just like, I wish it was more comic book accurate, but it is what it is. I know what I was going to get into it because obviously you see him in the other movies. But yeah, after that scene, what was it? He talks to his dad in jail. He figures out by himself that he could run to that weird time stream where he does that little bubble thing.
Yeah.
And then he goes back in his past to save his mom. That's what this movie's about, basically.
Yeah, it's Flash. Listen, this movie is Flashpoint with a few changes. That's all it is.
Yeah. So yeah, he goes in the past. He wants to save his mom, even though Ben Affleck Batman says like it's a bad thing. What happens to us makes us who we are. And then he just goes and he does it anyway. Then there's, which like I said, I wish it was more Zoom. I would have liked to see Zoom or Reverse Flash, whatever you want to call him. Then the Dark Flash, I think they're calling him.
Yeah, that is Dark Flash. Yeah.
But it was just like a character that is going to be another kind of Flash kicks him out of the fucking after he saves his mom, kicks him out of this time stream, and he's in the past, so that's when he sees his other self, and this is a whole new universe, so he doesn't have the powers yet, but he makes the other him get the powers, and his powers gets taken away, and he's trying to teach his other self to use the powers. Then let's see, that's when he meets our version of Batman, I would say, because it's old school 80s Batman, Tim Burton Batman, Michael Keaton. And then he figures out, like, why does he look different? But okay. And then they just go in, and Michael Keaton does this whole thing. Like, you didn't, like, I think he was explaining how time is linear, and that's why the past, even if you mess with the past, the future and the past get fucked up. So he was explaining the whole space-time continuum to him, too. And he was kind of like a retired Batman because he said that Arkham or Gotham is a safe haven now. Then Zod comes in and there's no Superman, so they got to find Superman. And then it's Supergirl. So, but at least they got it wasn't like a fake, like, oh, we're going to make Kal-El. It was actually the cousin, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, the Supergirl part, I think all of that was good. The only thing that sucks is I read a comment made by Zod, and then I seen how he acted after.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, I could see why he said he didn't want to do it, and it was stupid or pointless. Because he didn't want to go back to be Zod because it made no sense.
Yeah.
But they talked him into doing it, and then they have him in the movie, and to be honest, they barely have him in the movie. And he does those few scenes, and it's like, if you watch Man of Steel and see him as Zod, he was awesome.
Yeah.
No, so it kind of does suck a little bit.
It does, but then it also kind of having Supergirl there, because they made her story kind of make sense, where even in Man of Steel, they gave a hint that she's alive.
Yeah.
Because that open pod. But this one, they explained that Superman's pod got taken by Zod before it reached Earth, and they thought that they had the DNA with has all like the Kryptonian whatever, and it wasn't there. And the guy who would be Superman died. So now it's up to this girl, but she's just as an adult learning all this shit about Earth. Doesn't know how to really use her powers. She's not Superman. So I kind of like that. Like, only Superman can defeat Zod. Like, everybody.
That's why she lost. Yeah.
Yeah. And then yeah, that whole scene I liked. I kind of like the contrast of young Flash that has everything, like the mom and all that stuff. So he doesn't
Mhm.
really get the concept of losing something, and the other Flash does. So I kind of like that dialogue with them, and I liked how Supergirl kind of learned from him, like,
Yeah.
humans are, I guess, good, somewhat. But what did you think about the Zod fight? Even though that was one of the bigger scenes.
It was cool. I mean, it's hard to judge it with Man of Steel
Yeah,
scenes,
it's not going to be as
but
good.
I thought they did it smart. Like, you know what made me like all of that? Like, is the shit that I finally got. Like, I finally got Batman dying. I finally got Batman, like, losing. Like, he couldn't fucking win.
Yeah,
I think that kind of made it a little bit better. But then once you start seeing what they're doing within that scenes,
yeah,
and it makes sense because, like, what was it? The big guy when he fights
yeah,
the big guy, and he does that was cool. And I was like, that's what Batman should be. Like, he did what he did, but he's gonna lose because he's human.
yes, yes. I agree
So
with that.
yeah, so there was shit like that. Like, I didn't think it was amazing. Yes, I did go in there thinking like, oh shit, we're gonna get like another Man of Steel, mad action, like crazy shit like that, which we
Yeah,
didn't. To be honest,
no, we
it
didn't.
wasn't a lot more. It wasn't as much action as you would think in the movie.
No, it's 2 hours and it's mostly talking. To be
Yeah,
honest.
so you get that and all that shit, but it was cool. Like, it wasn't. I don't. It's Zod. It's Zod, where it's like, yo, the guy figured out how to use his powers and fought Superman. And
Yeah,
you have him here, and he's getting beat up with a fucking like a missile, or whatever it was that she was hitting him with.
yeah,
I get all of that, and it makes sense, but it was like, damn, there was so many other cool things that could have happened. But the movie would have been a lot longer. I get it.
yeah. It would have been like 4 hours, and
Yeah.
yeah, I get it. And I agree with you. It did feel rushed, but I felt
Mhm.
like not only for the action scenes, but this movie doesn't even matter because I don't think Ezra Miller's gonna like
Nah,
what
but
James Gunn's gonna do to the whole universe.
yeah,
None of them are gonna be in there. So
I forgot who James. No, James Gunn said that. Shit, who the hell was? He said somebody might return from there. I forgot who it was though. It wasn't Ezra
Aquaman,
Miller.
because Aquaman is the next
Aquaman,
one.
obvious, yeah, is supposed to return. I think it was. Was it Supergirl? It was either Supergirl or somebody. I can't remember. But he definitely said in the interview that he's just dropped recently that he was doing about the DC shit. He said
Yeah.
he was like, nah, like there's gonna be a new Superman. Oh no, I think it was Michael Keaton. He was like, Michael Keaton might come back.
That's gonna be weird
Yeah,
because I know that he wants a young Superman. So how
he
you gonna
wants,
have a young Superman?
but he wants
and
the old
yeah.
Batman.
I don't know how I
That's
feel
why
about that.
the end of the movie ended the way it ended.
Oh well, we could get to that, but I thought that was kind of funny, but I was expecting something like that.
I didn't until it happened, and I was like, it makes sense. Like,
Yeah, but damn, I gotta read up to what he's doing because so far I don't like too much what he's doing because he explains the guy from Twilight is gonna stay that Batman, but that's
yeah,
not part of his universe.
yeah.
So Joaquin Phoenix's Joker movie that's gonna come out with a Lady Gaga,
Mhm.
that's gonna be another different universe. So I was like, you're already starting bullshit because nobody's gonna want to go see this like you got to think like regular moviegoers are not going to understand this Batman is from another universe, and then you got a brand new Batman with Robin because I think that's what they're going to do, and it's
I-
just like
Yeah, I can agree with that. And so I see whatever the sales or whatever they call it, like for the movie,
yeah,
comes out for this movie at least, because like if it is like, oh, we all know we're getting an old Batman, we're all getting this, and third, and then you tell people like, hey, Michael Keaton's not done, we're gonna just bring him back for a different universe, blah blah blah.
so he would have been great in a Batman Beyond movie
Yeah,
as the old Batman.
he perfect for that, but
Perfect.
I don't think they had that envision. I just what is it, Justice Society he's trying to do. So, yeah, that's basically what we're working towards.
Well, I know he's making the Authority, which I thought was weird to me, but I guess because you need the gay characters in there, so the Authority is like some like a messed up version. Think of it as like a messed up version of Justice League. So you have this guy, I think his name is Apollo. He basically is that Superman, and then there's a guy called he's basically that guy's Batman. But them two are in love with each other, and I think that version of like that Batman type character, I don't know if he has the power to see like a minute before, so that's why he's so tactical with fighting, because he could see what you're gonna do a minute before, some shit like that. But I was like, okay, I guess they're gonna do. I don't know why he's doing that movie because nobody knows who they are. And I was like, all right, let's see what they got to do.
That's confidence in what you did with Guardians.
Yeah, but the thing I already don't like is that Superman is supposed to start this new universe.
Yeah. Superman Legacy.
And he's already picking like these scrawny looking fucking dudes. Like the guy who played Beast in X-Men is one of them. He might choose to be Superman. And then there's two others, but they're all the same build. They're like skinny, scrawny, like they're fit, but they're skinny Supermen that are younger. So I was like, you're not gonna get another Henry Cavill who's fucking brawling. I want a brawling Superman again, but I don't know.
All right,
that already was a
but
shutdown.
then that I'll take it to this. When the fuck have you had a brolic Superman besides probably Christopher Reeves and the guy who was the original one? Let's get to that scene. Because that scene was probably the most unexpected, crazy scene out of everything.
Yeah, well, it's kind of sort of right after this. So if you watch the movie, after they find Supergirl, they go back to Batman's lair because he has Batman help look for Well, they're trying to look for Superman, but they find Supergirl. They save her. Then he's trying to figure out, like, oh shit, Zod's here, so we gotta fucking save the world. And then they fight Zod. They have this whole thing, but the two Flashes figure out, like, I think Batman dies and Supergirl dies. So they go back in time to save them both. Then they save Batman, but then he dies again anyway. Supergirl dies again. So they go back in time. The older Flash that we know from the Justice League movies starts realizing, like, that's it. Like, they're supposed to die in this universe, I guess. So I can't save them. And the other one's like, no, we could do it. We could do it. We could do it. He's the one that turns into the bad version. So this whole thing's happening. They're in like this weird time stream, and they keep going back and back and blah, 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 trying to save it. Nothing's working. Then all three of them fight for like a millisecond. But while that's happening, they're explaining how all these different universes are colliding and they're smashing into each other. But this is probably like the best part of the movie because they go into the world and they show the 60s Superman from the TV show. Then they go and they show with shitty CGI, but they show the 70s like
I still don't know why they did it.
I don't know. I don't know. But they showed the 70s version of Superman and the Supergirl show, the Supergirl from the Supergirl show back then, or I think she had a movie.
I think she had a movie too, yeah.
Yeah. So they showed them together, like looking up into this incursion thing happening. And then the biggest thing that I started laughing at is they showed, again, a shitty CGI version of fucking Nicolas Cage as Superman. I was like,
it wasn't shitty CGI.
That
was, listen, compared to what that movie was supposed to be, to what we got to see, that was pretty damn good.
Yeah, but I was laughing because I was just like,
nah, I laughed too. I'm not gonna lie. Like
wow,
I've seen
because
once
he was supposed
Nicolas
to have
Cage,
a movie,
and I was like, holy fuck, they're actually gonna do this fucking little scene. And I seen the spiders, and I was just like, oh wow.
Yeah, that was supposed to be
Yeah.
the villain in that movie was the
Yeah.
spiders and shit, and then they had a couple Supermans. They showed an old Flash, like with the tin hat
They
thing.
showed the well, he's the original Flash, but he's the Flash from the TV show that plays him.
Yeah, that
But,
played in the original
yeah,
movies
yeah,
also.
yeah.
But the fucked up thing is they didn't show the TV show Flash, which I would
Yeah,
have
I
thought
thought
like,
they would
why
have too
wouldn't you
because
do
they
that?
did have the movie Flash go to the TV show. So
Yeah, I didn't get that, so I was like, why wouldn't you? Okay, but it was just cool to see all those little stupid Easter eggs, and it
no,
was
because
stupid,
even the
but it was
Batman shit
fucking
was cool.
fun.
Like when they were going through the Batmans and you got Adam West.
Oh
And you got
yeah,
all
you
of
can
that.
see the
Yeah.
show Batman running with the Robin,
Mhm.
and that was fun. That shit was fun.
Like that was. It sucks to say, but that probably was my favorite part of the movie.
No, it doesn't suck to say because I think that was too. Especially, I don't know why, but I popped more for the Nicolas Cage thing because I was like,
Nah,
you
it was
put that
cool.
in. That was even a fucking movie. It was like it
Listen.
was supposed to be.
It's cool, not cool, however you want to look at it. Like, in my opinion, coming off of a movie that was supposed to get made that wasn't made, and then I watched the documentary about it. To see them literally be like, you know what, we're gonna pay homage to it in somewhat makes me feel good to know that they're actually trying.
They were gonna try, but I think it's a
Yeah.
little too late.
No, I don't. I mean, I don't want to see Nicolas Cage in any fucking thing. But that was cool.
When you're watching a movie, after you see that scene and all three of the Flashes are fighting, the young Flash notices like, oh, I'm gonna become him. So the evil Dark Flash, we'll call him, tries to stab the God. It's gonna be confusing until you see it. But the Flash that we know, the Justice League Flash, the young Flash jumps in front of it, dies, in turn killing the Dark Flash because they're one and the same. And then it goes back to what seems like the normal day, right? The normal time. So he has to go to his court, his father's court date. His father, I think in the past he fixed the cameras so they show his dad's face and they prove that he
put the tomato sauce on a higher shelf, so you have to look up.
Yeah. So it was he freed his dad. So he changed the past a little bit. He freed his dad. When he's leaving the courtroom, he gets bombarded by all the shit. Batman calls him. He says, "Oh, thank you for your help because Wayne Tech apparently helped the camera system." And then who comes out of the fucking car? Because Batman's like, "I'm almost here." He pulls up, and his fucking what's his name? I'm bad with names.
George Clooney.
George Clooney. So Flash looks at him like, wait, you're not Batman. He's like, what's wrong with you? And then the fucking movie ends. I was like, yo.
You know what's the funny shit about that? George Clooney came out and there was only 6 people in the movie theater. There was 2 people sitting by me. There was 2 people behind me and another couple, and probably another one right beside him. So it was like 8 of us in here.
Yeah.
George Clooney came out and one guy was just like, whoa, like he was so high. He was like, yes, I knew it. I was just like, you're the only person that likes the George Clooney Batman. Yeah, like, holy shit.
I think that was like the worst Batman. To be honest.
They're gonna have fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger come back. Yeah.
It's Mr. Freeze.
Listen, he come back and do that classic line. Everyone chill. Like, yes. Yes.
But so it kind of ends in that way where it's like he fucked up the timeline still. Now, like I said, I don't know. I think Aquaman's supposed to come out, but I don't know where that lies into this. And then after Aquaman should be Superman, right? Like Aquaman's supposed to be the last.
Superman Legacy is gonna start the whole new DC universe.
So that's gonna be interesting.
I really hope Superman Legacy is good. It has a high bar to catch. Like Man of Steel is really strong up there, so
yeah. Even though a lot of people don't like it, I think it's one of the best in the whole fucking series.
The creativity of it, the way they told the story, I personally think it's besides watching the Christopher Reeves ones, which I have my certain ones that I like,
Yeah.
that's the only one that I was like, no, they depicted and told the story of Superman pretty fucking cool, and they did it great.
Yeah.
You know? I just wish they would have added more to it before adding Batman, where those same people that probably hate the Superman movie are the same people that you like earn for like Batman and Joker consistently. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and that shit is like that was one of the things that kind of like it did, but didn't bother me because I get it because they were doing it as a homage thing. But I was like, damn, y'all couldn't even go a whole 2 hours and 30 minutes without mentioning Joker around Batman.
Yeah.
You could literally mention multiple other characters, but you consistently lean on that crutch.
Well,
you made me not like Joker. Y'all made me not like Wolverine. Y'all made me not like Joker.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I agree. That's going to be another thing. Since you just bring up Wolverine, Deadpool is going to be interesting to see because I know they're bringing Hugh Jackman back, even though I don't like him as Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
But with Marvel and their multiverse, I'm like, I know you're going to bring back all the old X-Men, but are you going to do the same shit that DC's doing? And it's just like, all right, we're going to throw all these characters out.
Yeah.
And we're going to bring brand new X-Men, or is it going to be, we'll take this one, put them here, we'll take this one that still wants to play that character? Like,
they might do that with some people, but it depends. But there was, from what I've read, one of the things I read, they were saying like, fuck, what was it? Oh, because the thing is like, it's going to be rated R. So they have like a list of that they're making it rated R. So it's going to be interesting to see like how they do it in that way because they're doing it rated R. That gives you leeway to kill mad people. It gives you leeway to do certain shit. So, gotta see what happens. Because I don't think they want to do too much to standalone of that aspect. Yeah. I think it's going to lean towards Secret Wars a little bit. And then from there,
it might.
It's going to go into X-Men. And then we'll get X-Men versus Fantastic Four. And then we'll get movies like that.
The thing is, I love Ryan Reynolds because I think he's a fucking big fan. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why he does shit right. Even though, like, Deadpool 2, they didn't really have all the characters right. But
it wasn't the greatest, but it was still good.
But I would love to see how Cable and Wolverine are going to react to each other. Because they both had that attitude, like, don't fuck with us. But then I feel that we're going to get the actual real fastball special because we have a great Colossus and we got a Wolverine. And I was like, he has to do a fastball special once.
Yeah, because they definitely said Colossus is coming back. So yeah, I can see that happening.
Yeah. So I'm just like, yes.
Yeah, no, that's one of those things where it's like I need I need something to go off of.
Mm-hmm.
I just know that shit's gonna happen. So I want to say shit that I can't say shit, you know.
Secret Invasion's next week.
Is it next week?
I think so, yeah. Next Friday. Something.
Shit. It is next Friday. You know, I didn't watch those 5 minutes. I know you did.
I did, yeah. I put in the code and everything.
I didn't watch it because I didn't think it was going to be much. Yeah.
It was probably like 2 to 3 minutes, and the other two, they played the trailer at the end. That's it. But it wasn't nothing like mind-blowing or anything like that.
Because I don't know. Like, I have one. I think I'm going to like it, but I'm going to like it because I want something different from Marvel.
Yeah.
So it's going to make me like it. But hype and anticipation is low. But besides that.
Because they keep fucking up. That's why. They keep fucking up. But from what I hear, that Kevin Feige realizes, like, no, we're fucking up.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of throwing all this shit out there, that's why I'm waiting for San Diego Comic-Con, because that's where they have all the big shit.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, he's going to get rid of TV shows and shit that are too much. Like, we don't need this.
Yeah.
And then he's going to start making things that make sense again. So he's going to be like, no, this movie or this show, and he's going to make the timeline. so they're not just throwing a whole lot of bullshit at us.
Yeah, because they did get to the point where and it's understandable. You got a whole fucking app, and you gotta get content on there to make people want the app.
Yeah.
So they dropped a lot of shit, and they did a lot of shit. And I think a lot of the first run of shows was really good. I like the Falcon Soldier. I like WandaVision. I like Loki. Didn't mind those shows. But there is that part where it's like, nah, you gotta find, if you're gonna do a show, you definitely gotta find one that really hits out the park for everyone, not just for a certain group.
Yeah. See, I think where they fucked up, like, WandaVision was good because you're trying to figure out what the fuck's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't see her again until recently, like Doctor Strange 2.
Yeah.
So I was just like, damn, all that time and there was nothing. Then it was the same thing with Loki. Loki introduced who was supposed to be the big bad, but I don't know what his legal shit going on. And we don't see him until Ant-Man. So it's just kind of like, but then after that, you put down the Falcon Winter Soldier show, and nothing came out of that. Then you have Shang-Chi, nothing came out of that. Black Widow, nothing came out of that. So you have all these movies that have nothing to do with nothing. And then you have like Moon Knight, you have this and this, and it's like, where are you going? Like, you could put a show in there that doesn't have to be tied into the Avengers, like a Moon Knight. I enjoyed it, but there was no hint to what's his next thing. Who's the villain? Who's gonna be his next enemy? Is he gonna team up with anybody? What universe is he in? Like, there was no time.
That was the big rush of all of that shit, and that's why I think somebody made a comment or I heard something about Moon Knight being in something movie wise or whatever. It's one of those things. Like, I feel they did do what they did because they had to put out content. I think they got a little bit egotistical.
Yeah.
And it all comes together, like, because everybody gonna follow, everybody gonna want everybody. But it was like, you can't do it and give us mid aspects of shit or not give us shit to look forward to. So, like, even Black Panther 2, you can say, like, Black Panther 2 did not give us anything to look forward to next. You know? So it's like it's a hard axe. That's what made Guardians good, because Guardians was a wrap up.
Yeah.
And you could go like, oh yeah, that's the new team, but you're not really looking for that team. You're looking for something else. That's what they gave us. They gave us one perspective, and they finished another group that was fucking awesome. And we're still trying to figure out what the hell's going on with the Avengers. And we have a whole villain that, like you said, like, he might not be the guy anymore, but you have Loki, you have the WandaVision, because dealing with the Marvels, you get off of WandaVision. So there's certain shit that the strings are there. It's just that they're getting pulled in a certain way that's not as tight and as sturdy, like secure as it was when they did the first, let's say, 15 years.
Yeah.
You know?
First 10. 10. But fucking, that's, hopefully they could get back on track. And I really hope that, going back to the Flash movie, it made me want to see Flash more generally. Because I was like,
the actor's awesome. The actor sucks.
The actor sucks. And I was just like, they actually did one of the things that a lot of people don't do with Flash, is the phasing through the solid material. And I was like, fuck it. You did a lot in the movie. But I was like, I want a Flash movie that's based on the, like, I didn't need a Flashpoint movie. If you just did a movie based on, even though I don't like Ezra Miller, but if you had another Flash, I want to see more Flash. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like he's such an underrated character.
Those movies would have been fun, especially, I mean, I get what people say, but it's like, all right, him in Reverse Zoom, whatever. There is something to the Flash running after the same person aspect.
Yeah.
And you get scenes out of that. You could do great scenes with that without slow motion. It's like you said, with the phasing shit, I think that was cool because that's one of the things with Flash. Like even when he did the tornado part, that always
Yeah.
got me. Cause I was like, yo, the guy has all these fucking abilities because of his speed,
Yes.
and they're not using it. Like, you know, so once they started figuring, because it was even when the babies were falling, I was like, how can you not figure out how to do the finger gun shit? Like just and sending
Yeah.
speed energy, that pop, pop, like, you know.
Yeah.
But it's just shit like that that I get. You know, it's a movie, and they put what they put and blah blah blah. But like that because you know what, the costume was at the same time. It was it's so it sucks because the movie's a solid like 7.5 or 8 maybe. You know, like depending on how you really want to look at certain shit.
Yeah.
But that's what made me like because
I love the ring. The ring.
the ring part was cool, and
Awesome.
yeah, like because they did so. Because all right, so when they were doing the reverse Flash aspect, and they were going to the last fight scene, when you see the younger version of himself going and he's making the suit, I'm watching how he's making the suit, and I was like, yo, y'all making it obvious that it's him.
Yeah.
Like this costume is going to transform into this person, and the only thing that bothered me about it is that I don't watch the TV show, but I know about the TV show. So I
Yeah.
know the TV show already did this. So it's paying that fan service to those people as well. That they got,
Yeah.
they got the same shit, but now they're getting in the big screen and blah, blah, blah. So it's like, all right, it's cool, it's da, da, da. But I don't know, like, I think the movie had everything it needed besides the fact of that girl that wasn't needed in the beginning, his love interest.
Yeah.
They didn't need to do it. You know what? He had to be the Dark Flash because you have to find a way to introduce Dawn, whatever the fuck his name is, Zoom.
Yeah.
And you can make Zoom actually pretty cool. So it was cool that they didn't rush that. I don't know. Like I said, I really don't have a lot to really nitpick. Like the shit that I nitpick is the shit that is obvious. Everything else I thought was pretty good.
I'll give you a nitpick that this is a big ass plot hole in the movie.
Mm.
You never find out who kills his mom.
And that's why another Flash movie might work off of.
I hope they don't have Ezra though. If he's gonna redo it, I want him redo everything because I don't want Ezra.
I don't
Ezra
think it's,
just takes me out of it.
they keep. From what I've heard, they said Ezra Miller's done. He's not coming back.
Hopefully.
So see what happens. They could find a Wally West somewhere. Keep it moving.
I'd rather the TV show Flash. I watched the first 2 seasons. That shit was good. I like that shit. I just didn't watch season 3 because it was just like a repeat of
it can't be because of the same
like,
shit. Yeah.
It's Reverse Flash. Then this is Zoom. Then this is Dark Flash. It was like, all right.
No, I know. That's why I never watched it myself. But that's pretty much, that of that movie. Like, it's one of those, like, because you're like, oh, I can watch it on bootleg. I'm like, shit, maybe I'll watch it while I fall asleep. I'll probably fall asleep.
My bootleg, though, was getting annoying. Like, even though visually it was fine, but this guy kept going, woo! Every time someone came on screen. And I'm talking about throughout the whole movie. I was like, oh my God, why isn't he kicked out of the fucking theater? But
that's one of the best things about going when I went, because when I went an hour earlier than I normally do to go watch these movies. And I went to Stony Brook, Smithtown. Like, I went over there. I don't know why. Because I wanted the recliner seat, which has a heater as well. I was like, I'm fucking tired. I'm sick. Like, I'm still sick right now. I'm just fucking pushing through it. Freaking, I just wanted to watch the movie. So I ran and watched the shit. But in a weird way, I was like, I think I might start using AMC more because less people go early. I have a recliner. And it's no different. The only thing that Deer Park had over AMC is the fact that the screen did the wide shit.
Yeah.
Besides that, I was so comfortable in my fucking recliner. Chilling watching that movie. I could fucking comfortable, move how I want to move. Shit was awesome.
Yeah, fucking.
Yeah,
Peace,
fuck
people. Enjoy. Watch both of those movies, I would say.
Both good movies. Definitely enjoyable.
Yeah.
But I need to eat because I'm dying right now.
Yeah. All right. So peace out, people.
Peace out.